So when it comes to client side, when you go ahead and subscribe for Dynamics, Microsoft only will give you an option to configure UAT and live production. So this is like included in the package. For this, you need not pay any additional cost. Okay. So and before moving further, I'll let you know how the code will move. From here, I said, okay, we'll generate a package and we'll move it here. And again, like, okay, if you want to move the code to here, we'll generate a package from here. We'll just move it to UAT, and whatever the generated package that were there in test, we'll move it back to live environment. Okay, this is how the codes will be moved. The difference between UAT and the live environment is that UAT environment still has some additional capabilities, like, okay, we can just access the SQL server and other things and all. Okay, even though we will not be able to have the codes, but in live environment, it will be just a plain URL. That's it. Okay. In previous versions, you have been we have been having informations like we can directly log into the machine, modify the code. We can directly log into SQL. We can modify some scripts. We can do anything we wanted. But here, this is like just a URL based thing. Only one URL will come. Something like, okay, scc dynamics dot cloud dot microsoft.com, something like that. It will come, so that only this URL will be given to the users. They will not know where is a SQL. Even you will not know where is your machine is installed. This will be machined on hosted on Microsoft Azure data centers. Okay, so these are the difference between the environments and what we have right here.
So with the default subscription the client has, they get UAT and live. Those are the only two they get, right?
Exactly, that's right.
Okay. And then with the partners we approach, and we go for SIT and DevBox through them, or even the client could also do that themselves, right?
Yeah, mostly like, okay, with the help of client only, we'll just go ahead and configure the UAT in live. So most probably we'll give them the documentation, or like, okay, if they are not aware, like as a partner company, we'll pitch in and we'll just configure the UAT and live for them.
No, I mean like SIT and Dev, the client could do that themselves too using Azure, right?
Yeah, they can do that. They can do that.
Oh, okay, they'll give the access. Okay.
Yeah. Okay, with this, I'll just move back to the slide here. So now this slide will give you more idea when you read through these 3 points. It says it can be hosted locally or in the cloud or in the cloud on Microsoft Azure, right? Locally means it's a VHD, Hyper-V, and the cloud means it's on the Microsoft Azure. And as per the system consideration, it requires somewhere around 16 GB of RAM and 2 CPU cores. But as I said, it can be somewhere around 30 GB of RAM and 4 CPU cores, or 8 CPU cores will be much better. So the last point is like, okay, as and when you have more RAM and more CPU cores, the system will have more compile time actually, because Dynamics is a very big, very huge application. So where like, okay, the compilation requires a lot of memory to do that. So with this, I'll just go back to the next slide. And next slide speaks about the common terminologies. So these are the most common terminologies we use when we speak about dynamics. So it's good to know, because when we start with development, we'll speak about element, model, projects, and packages. So you should know when I refer to element what I'm referring to, and when I say projects what I'm referring to. So we'll take one by one. So elements, models, projects, and packages. Okay, fine. Let's say I'm going to build a application for payroll. Okay. Similarly, I'm going to build an application for tax engine. Two applications I'm going to build. So for payroll, let's say, okay, I'm going to build some tables. Let me call this payroll table. And I'm going to build a report. let's say I wanted to build some payroll information. I want to build some tax information. Okay. So in Dynamics, each and every individual things, okay, whatever the objects you're going to build right here, whatever the objects you're going to build here, these are called as elements. Okay. So what are the individual identities you have? So these are called as elements. So table is an element, form is an element, and report is an element. Similarly here, we call this to be elements. Okay. And these elements will be a part of a particular model. Okay, model means, okay, let's say we can consider a model to be a folder. So within a folder we can have multiple files that are set up, right? So we can have one text file, one CSV file, one XML document. It can be anything, correct? So these tax engine, whatever I can call this, I can call it as model. So if I place an object or an element within a one model, so this element can't reside right here. It is not possible. Okay, so this is not possible. The reason because it is already exist in the other model. It's already exist in the other package. We can call it as. So I just remove this off. So this is not possible. So when I call this to be a model, this to be a folder, I can call this also to be the folder. Okay, so these are the different models that are available in the system. And in Dynamics there are a lot of other models that are also available, like we have standard objects, because Dynamics is a pre-built application, right? It's not only about I wanted to build something on a payroll and I wanted to build something on tax engine. Apart from this, you could see, okay, these are the different models that are present in the system, starting from application suite, platform, foundation, electronic reporting, fleet management, each and every. So when you log into the system, when you open up each and everything will be having a table, form, report, enum, and a lot more things, classes, everything it can have. Okay, fine.
So each one there under the AOT, are those all like modules?
Model.
Okay.
Not
No, I
the
mean like,
So different from modules.
module is something different, right? Module is accounts receivable, accounts payable. You're speaking about that. So we are speaking about technical concepts here.
Okay, sir.
Yeah. When you speak about module, that is something different.
Okay, sir.
Okay. So you are comfortable with this model and element. Can we move to projects?
yeah.
Okay. So models, so element resides within the model, I said. But if element has to be customized, or if the element has to be modified, it has to come into a project. Let's say I'm creating a project one, and I have to take this element within a project, and only here in the project I have to modify this. And there can be n number of projects that can be available. See, first I can create a project to modify only these two elements. Again, I can just create a new project. So where I wanted to modify this element. Again, I can create another project where I can modify only reports. So it is like according to the requirement. Let's say, okay, this project is linked to bug 1100. So for each and every bug, you will be creating a project, or each and every task we can say. And this is with 1101, and this is with 1103, something like that. Okay, so each and every bug you will be creating a new projects, and you'll be doing it, right? Similarly, so whenever a new changes come, you will be creating a project for this, and you'll be modifying it right here. Projects are nothing but a reference thing. It will not store the objects by itself. Whenever you do a modification, what you're going to do is you will pick up the object from here, you reference it here. Whatever the changes you do, it will still be reflected back into the models. So projects are just a containers, okay? So which facilitates the change in the particular object. That's it. It does not hold an object by itself.
So we can divide the task into projects.
Correct. So whatever the things, you see here I gave an example of only few things, but like, okay, there is a lot of, there like numerous objects, 2000s, more than that objects available. So we can't take everything into a project for customization. If you wanted to customize only 2 or 3 objects from this particular model, for that you can create a project, and out of that you can just go ahead and modify it. But still the changes will be saved back into the models only.
Yeah, okay, sir.
Okay.
So you can work on a different elements from different models under one project.
Yeah, I'm coming back to that actually. So thing is that here I have project 1, project 2, project 3. This project will be tagged onto the model. So when I say a project is being tagged onto the model, so it is not possible to customize this element right here. Okay, so this is not possible. So if you wanted to customize this, what you have to do, you will have to go ahead and create a new project. Let's say called project 4, and this is for bug, let's say 1105 something. And now this will be linked back to the tax engine model. So every project will be linked back to a particular model. So only that project can accommodate objects from that particular model. That's it. Okay. And again, like, okay, here the reverse thing is not possible. So when you wanted to try it with this one, so it is not possible. Got it?
Okay.
So now we learned about 3 concepts right here. So element, models, and projects. 3 things we learned about. Okay. So next we'll go for packages. Fine. So before going to packages, I'll ask you a question. Let's say, okay, I said this is a folder, right? Model is nothing but a folder. Folder can contain multiple subfolders. Like, okay, it will be containing something like this. Tables will be one folder. These are the subfolder, and forms will be the subfolder, and reports will be the subfolder. So within this, I can have payroll process table, payroll history table, something like that. I can have multiple n number of tables within this, right? So now this folder, and within this comes as a subfolder. Okay, and similar to that, okay, here also I can just have multiple forms that are available, multiple reports that are available. Now I am getting a task to send the complete model in an email. So what will be a preferred approach?
Can you repeat that actually?
Yeah, so I having a folder. So this, I call this to be a folder, right? So I have a folder, within that I have subfolder, within the subfolder I have a lot of elements that are available right here, correct? Now my task is, my manager asked me to send this particular entire folder in the email. So what will be a preferred approach, and how will you send it? Will you send as a individual files, or how is it?
No, zip it.
Zip file.
Okay. So here you're going to zip and send it. So if a manager asks me to send this and this, so then
Zip into the different folders.
so different, there are 2 possibilities now. So either we can just zip it into 2 zip files, or we can club it together back into a single zip file, and we can send as a single file, correct?
Yeah.
So meaning to say that this model and this one, I'll put it onto another folder and zip that folder and send it back to them. So those zip format are called as packages. Okay. So I can create a new one package. Within one package, I can just add this model, tax engine model, and payroll model. So both the things I can zip it together. Other than that, okay, if I wanted to do only for tax engine, sorry, only for payroll, I can just create another package. If I wanted to do only for payroll, I wanted to have another package. Okay, so these are called as packages. So this will be explained a bit more detail in here. So here you can see
package creation is an admin part, or developer has to do this?
developer.
Okay.
Yeah. So he could see, okay, these are the multiple projects that are available right here. These projects are referring to a model, right? So from the model, I'm creating a lot of projects. From the second model, I'm creating a lot of projects. So if I want to package it, I wanted to get the objects from here, both package it together, and this will be going as an assembly or a runtime file. Similarly, if you have only one model that has to be packaged, so you'll have project 6 and project 7. So then this also can be packaged, and this also has to be sent in a package now. Okay. So the idea is like, okay, even when you wanted to send a single model or multiple models, everything has to be packaged. So that's it. I would like to stop right here. So we just learned a few bit of concepts today.
So each here in this screen, right, of the project. So we're essentially putting the packages together. Each package will have multiple models in it or projects in it.
Correct.
Okay. So it could have both model and package. Sorry, and a project.
Project can have only elements, right? That's what we discussed. What does a project has? It contains the elements, but it can reference to one model. That's it.
A reference to the model. Okay.
Okay.
So essentially, but in the package, we are only putting models, right?
Correct. Yeah, right. Because package, it does not require about a project actually, because for one model there can be multiple projects, but usually where the element is getting stored, it is getting stored in this area. So if I pick this one, so I'll be good enough to transfer my code to another environments.
Okay. But like if I'm working on only one particular element of the model, like we're doing only the table, payroll table changes, and that's part of project 1. So when I do the package, I send only that. So my question is, does the package needs to know whether it is assigned to a project or not, or the whoever is going to migrate it, do they care if there's a project associated with it or not?
Not required really, because project is an internal dev. And to answer your question, even
just for dev purpose. Okay.
Yeah, dev purpose. So to answer your question, so even if you have 1,000 elements in this particular model, okay, even when you change one particular, let's say you're changing this particular payroll form, okay, so even in that case, you'll have to send the entire model. So one single element is not possible.
Okay.
Okay. So when you send the model though, like it'll send the whole thing, right? That's when you're packaging the model into a package, it'll send the whole model though, right?
Correct, correct. Yeah, right, correct.
Whatever the elements in the model.
What are the objects? Okay, everything will be sent.
So even though we are working on only one element, we in the package will have the whole thing. So is that I mean, I know that's what it is done right now, but is that like saying we are sending the whole model, which is really big with thousands of elements, even though we worked on only one change?
Exactly, correct, correct.
Okay.
There is a reason behind it. The reason is that to make a code that is common between all the environments.
Yeah, gotcha.
In previous versions, okay, there was a possibility like, okay, even one elements we can change. But what it led to maybe when a person reports a problem in the live environment, the code would be something different in the live environment now.
Yeah.